Hi, sir, beautiful person. My name is Tobias, and today we're reacting to Lawless by SB19. And let me tell you something. I woke up this morning ready to work, and I go on YouTube because obviously I use YouTube for my work, and I see this new song. And I'm like, is this fate? Is this fate? Because I didn't know this was coming. It was obviously, I'm subscribed, so I got the notification, and I was like, I need to check this out. I need to check this. Is this from a new... what's happening? What's happening? There's obviously... It's a lyric video. So we get the lyrics up front. But let's... You guys know the drill. Is that a goat? Oh, I'm getting like Western vibes. Wait. I'm sorry. It is full volume and it's so goddamn low. Let me turn up the volume. Okay, it should be better now. Yes! Okay. I'm an outlaw on the one the world is brutal. Watch your mouth, I don't need no one's approval. Keep your doubts, I'm lawless, better be cautious. No boxes can hold the gods, no. Start a mosh pit. Hey, it ain't common sense. Talking out of pocket, get your car quick. Oh, yeah. Living lawless is my priority. Is that Justin? Ooh, let him sing it loud. Tragic, now paint the whole town. The road is rough, the road is tough. Drop the beat. Drop the beat. Drop the beat. But don't get stuck, 'cause there ain't no love in the land of the lawless. 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 That guitar do is so good. Oh, my head's hurting. No law in the land of the lawless. And the reason I'm closing my eyes is because I'm oh my god, no. If they're gonna be rapping, no. But the reason I'm closing my eyes is I don't want to read the lyrics because the beat is so fucking beating and so bomb and so good that I need to close my eyes so I can focus on it because we listen to this twice and I read the lyrics. So give it to me. Tell me what you gonna do when it comes for you. Tell me what ya get in your head now. Ooh, somebody go to police. Ooh, we taking everything tonight. Ooh, now you see the future. Breaking all the rules, yeah, we run up to tempo. We low kiss savage. Ooh, keep on singing now. Tragic, we'll break the whole town. Y'all, I am not on any caffeine. I slept 6 hours. I'm not supposed to feel this. This hot, this good, this energetic. Before we listen to this again, I need to get caffeine because the road is tough. Better watch your back in the land of the lawless. Can't get enough, but don't get stuck, 'cause there ain't no love in the land of the lawless. Love. Yeah, I'm always on the run. All these shadows calling out my name. Can't nobody hold me down. I was born to break the chains. I'm done, I'm letting go. This gone, let you know. Then look, it's the last straw. Watch me run and lose control. Is this the first song that we get after the end of the beginning of the end of the beginning? Wakas at Simuli, you guys know what I'm talking about. No love in the land of the lawless. The road is rough, the road is tough. I need a music video. ESB 1819. Okay. Okay. We're doing some riddling. I need a music video with cowboy boots. Like a cowboy boots, a saloon, a cowboy hat, maybe a horse, maybe a saddle, maybe no saddle because it's a lawless land and a saddle would, symbolize. Like, I need Justin in cowboy boots with. This song is so them. And obviously I didn't read the lyrics, but the lawless land, like they're probably talking about the music industry, or this song fits a lot of their other songs and I'm completely blank. But I've spoken about this a lot, that SB19 kind of hits these Venn diagrams of songs. This one fits like Visa or Gento, or these damn, like these songs that have a societal theme to it, but it also hits the Venn diagram about themselves and how like they're kind of, you know, embracing that. So like it's overlapping with different themes, and I had to close my eyes because I was so focused on the lyrics, but the beat deserves to be recognized here. It is so Bobby. So that doom, 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 and I just know without looking that Pablo and probably Josh participated in the production and the writing of this song. And maybe even Ken. It, they never fail. They never fuck up. They never miss. They are Cupid when a fucking arrow hitting me in the butt. Like it's let me drink some caffeine and then let's read these lyrics. Shall we? I drank some caffeine. We're ready, okay? I will say it's been a while since I analyzed the song. I've been kind of caught up in some movies and some shows, so I'm a little out of shape, and it's also early in the morning, so we'll see how I do, because I know with SB19 is that their songs are very deep and very societally speaking, oftentimes. But Ken starts us off by saying lawless, lawless, lawless. No love in the land of the lawless. And I believe this is like also the chorus, because this is what's repeated throughout the song, especially the no love in the land of the lawless. And maybe we're going to see different meanings of what that means as we progress in the song. But I like the three lawless, right? Because lawless, again, I'm really uneducated when it comes to like Western, and I'm talking specifically like US Western country type like history. I know a few things, right? One, SB19 is performing at Lollapalooza today. They're making history. So them releasing this song, something is there. Now, Lollapalooza is in the US, so that's obviously an inspiration from that. I think Lollapalooza is in Chicago. I don't know if that's any relation to it, but like I'm trying to contextualize, why are they releasing this song now? Why are they releasing it on a Thursday morning US time, the same day that they're performing? There has to be some intentionality between it. No love in the land of the lawless, right? Lawless to me, right, when I think about, I'm thinking of an it's not even an outlaw because that's the person. The lawless is the space. And the space that I think about is the music industry. Like we're talking about the music industry. And the music industry does not have any rules, thus being lawless. So it doesn't have any love. And I love what love encompasses, because love is care, love is kindness, love is I mean well for you. They're kind of saying that's not what the music industry is about. And I know later in the song they say something about the road is rough, the road is tough, something like that. Like it's not easy being in this, walking this path that we're going on. So I think that's what they're setting up with this beginning. Jesus Christ, I think we need to take it one sentence at a time. But I am an outlaw on the run. The road is brutal. So an outlaw, and I'm thinking of these Western movies that I've seen very sparsely. An outlaw is someone, it's a criminal, right? Well, I guess it could be a criminal. I think oftentimes we associate outlaws with criminals, but the way that I'm interpreting is outlaw. Like if law is this box, they're outside of the law. So they're saying we're existing outside of these rules that exist within this space that we're trying to occupy, which is the music industry. So they're saying the music industry is here, but we are kind of finding ourselves outside of those parameters. And we're on the run. So we're running. And SB19 has had a lot of songs about running, about flying, about achieving goals, right? So I think the run, it's interesting because when you're thinking about an outlaw on the run, you're thinking they're being chased by authorities because they're a criminal. But they're kind of using that metaphor to describe theirs because I don't think they're on the run from authorities or the police. They're on the run from the laws, from the restrictions that come with the policies. And then they say the road is brutal. I mean, facts. I can't think, right? It's not easy. I kind of even think about it right in this Western context, right? There's no roads. It's also it's often a desert. It's often dry as fuck. You're often it's brutal. It's hot. It's painful. So they're saying right, like they're not necessarily outside of the law because it's enjoyable, but it's because they want to. Now Pablo continues and he says, "Watch your mouth. Ugh, I don't need no one's approval. Watch your mouth. Ugh. I need to hear how he says ugh to like interpret it because it's a gimmick, right? So it can have different like tonal connotations to it. I don't need no one's approval, right? So this is very fitting, I think, with what SB19 is. I like it. Watch your mouth. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about people judging them? Like, critics, haters, people who are critiquing their decisions of existing outside of these boundaries and parameters. And then he goes, ugh, I don't need no one's approval. Which no one is not the people who needs to watch their mouth, is also people, you know, who are not within that framework, right? It's also fans. It's also people that like them. Like I think they're essentially saying we don't need anybody's approval. Not the haters, not the lovers. We just want to exist out of the realm of this lawless land. And maybe in the context is also about like I'm trying to think about okay, they're performing at Lollapalooza. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first Filipino group to ever perform at that festival. And maybe there is certain expectations or even certain restrictions from music labels, from Western markets, from these people who look at the Philippines and people from the Philippines or artists from the Philippines in like one single story. If you know Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's TED Talk about a single story, you know exactly what I mean. But it's this idea that you have one version of how certain people look like, act like, behave like, should, ought to be. And it's not necessarily that that way is wrong, but it like takes away the nuances of it. So they're saying, watch how you expect us as a Filipino group to be, because we don't need your guidelines on how to be. Keep your doubts, right? Pablo even says, like, be doubtful, say we can't succeed because of the external circumstances that are given to us. We don't really care. And I like that he's saying, keep your doubts. Huh? Like, huh is a doubt. Huh is a, I'm not really sure what it is that you're saying. I'm not sure if I'm really grasping. So he's emphasizing, you can have that. And what I'm getting from this is that you can doubt us however you want. But the success that we're going to obtain, whether it's from this song, whether it's from the fact that they're performing at Lollapalooza, or the fact that they're just so fucking great, that is in of it itself evidence that the doubts are wrong, that the haters are wrong, that these constraints that people put on them is not true, because the evidence is the success of them making music, of them making good music, of them making successful commercial music. I think is like where I'm going. Okay, so now we're claiming we are lawless. Better be cautious. Which makes sense, right? We're an outlaw. We're outside of the law. We're lawless. But I also love that is didn't they say in the before no love in the land of the lawless? So the land of the lawless, I interpret as being the music industry. So the music industry is lawless, but now we're lawless. So we're almost comparing ourselves, right? Saying we are, even though we're outside of the music industry, we are really the same. Like there is that dichotomy, that paradox, right? Of like, well, this thing that we're not is the same thing that we are. And I'm kind of confusing myself, but I think I'm making sense, right? Like the music industry is lawless. We are lawless. Ergo, we should be the same thing, but we're not. That's what Pablo, I think, is establishing. And then better be cautious. Like he's giving us a heads up. He's saying that we are kind of cheating. And I'm not saying cheating in a way of like getting ahead of the game, but like I'm thinking of a literal game. Like a literal game, right? Like you don't play by the rules. In Monopoly, you land on my property, you need to pay rent. Well, I ain't gonna pay your rent. Why not? Because I'm lawless. I'm gonna make my own rules. So they're not saying, be cautious because we're gonna cheat our way to the top. But they're saying we are gonna get to the top by not playing the rules of your game. Okay, so the next line is no boxes can hold the gods. No. No boxes can hold the gods. No. So I'm trying to make sense of this. I don't think they're claiming themselves to be gods. But let's start by breaking it down so I can also understand it better. So no boxes, right? I think that's the same thing that we've been covering, right? Like think of a physical box containing someone, right? So they're saying this box cannot hold gods. And I think a lot of people might interpret, oh, are they claiming themselves to be gods? I don't think so. Like, I don't think they're claiming themselves to be like this divine being, this like high ego that they're trying to do. The song that comes to mind when I think about this is Eminem's Rap God, of how he's not necessarily claiming to be a god, but he's claiming to be bigger than rap. His skills, his talent, his composition, his experience is beyond what the box of rap puts you in. And I'm not really familiar with a lot of hip hop, with a lot of rap, but I think a lot of rappers and hip hop artists do this, where they say, don't confine me to this one genre because I go beyond that. So the context of God is not this divine, ego boosting being. It's that we don't fit in this box because we're more different than that. We're bigger than that. And the box in this context may be that single story, those restrictions that we as people view and look at Filipino artists as. And I don't know what people think about Filipino people because I look at, you know, everyone looks at it differently. But, the ways that I am able to pick up, at least from knowing a few Filipino artists, specifically Beanie and SB19, is what I often see and have heard is they're not necessarily looked as the main artist. Like, I think that Coachella with Beanie is a great example of they had so much engagement across the board, but it was kind of diminished in impact because they were from the Philippines. A lot of arguments I saw online of like, oh, well, they got more engagement than Justin Bieber, but it doesn't really matter because they got Filipino engagement rather than US engagement. So almost saying that the value of the US market was bigger than the Filipino market. And, that kind of diminishes the impact that Beanie had from going to Coachella. And I'm even thinking in the same context of SB19 going to Lollapalooza. I think they're on the main stage. Correct me if I'm wrong, if not, right? But the box could have been that, oh, why would they put a Filipino group on the main stage? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, the box that maybe Western society views Filipino music is, oh, it can never be as big as, I don't want to use K-pop, but we see how K-pop is being perceived at award ceremonies, at, at this grand, unique thing. And it is, but so is Filipino pop. So is, P-pop as we call it. So maybe that's the box that they're trying to say of we do not confine ourselves to that thing because we're more than that. I like the start a mosh pit. Because do I know what a mosh pit is? Is it not the thing when you jump out? You jump out on the stage, like it's usually in rock, it's usually in like punk. You like jump out in the on the scene at the concert, and you like get flown out, you know, and the audience takes you, right? And it exactly does what the previous line said, because the song is very country-esque. It was also EDM, right? But then they have this rock, punk, thunk kind of like idiom to describe it. Is like, that's the dichotomy of the box. So I like that. I think that's great. And I think the mosh pit also connects the audience, right? Like, it lets us know that we are a part of them, despite them being outlaws, despite them being lawless. They're still connecting to their fans. Josh says, hey, this ain't common sense. Are we saying common sense, maybe like the essence of the song, right? This, you know, this is a Filipino group doing a country-esque EDM song. We're talking about a mosh pit, which is about rock. We're, you know, comparing ourselves with gods, but we're not really gods. Like, a lot of these things don't really make sense when you look at it on the surface. But that ain't the point. That ain't the fucking point, right? It doesn't have to make sense for us to do it. We could dance ballet in cowboy boots on the ocean with a dolphin who is pink. It doesn't make sense, but we still gonna do it. And then he says, talking out of pocket, get your caught quick. So it's the people talking out of pocket, you know, the people who are you know, doubting us, the haters, people who are not understanding where we're coming from. And the reason they're getting caught is, and this is kind of, I see this a lot, and I'm trying to bring examples. Let's say an artist like SB19 releases a song called Lawless. People go, oh, this is awful. This is so not them. They're trying to adhere to like Western standards, and they're trying to assimilate themselves to fit into Westerns, and oh my god, they're awful, and they're gonna be a failure. And then they get caught really quick because the song ends up being a bob and a half and majorly successful, right? So they're saying that haters and critics are very hasty being fast, at making harsh assumptions about SB19. You're gonna fail. You're not yourself. You're changing too much. You're moving too fast. You're rapping too much. You're whatever. And they're saying you get caught really quick. It's like, you know, when people, and Taylor Swift is a great example of this, it's like, oh my god, The Life of a Showgirl is like the worst album on earth. Yeah, ooh, everyone hates it, and then it's the most successful commercial album in 1 week of any album in the US history. And you can still be like, yeah, you know, it's sold, but the quality is bad. So what? Like, so what? So what? Who the fuck gives a shit about people they don't like? I think that's what they're coming up, right? Yeah, hey, you ain't got no authority. And I like that, because that makes me think this is not the haters necessarily. Because we know haters ain't got no authority anyway. I think the authority is actually the music industry, the lawless land, the critics, the record labels, the award ceremony stakeholders, who think they have power, who think they have influence, who think that they got, you know, authority to make people change. They're saying, you ain't got shit, you ain't got power, you ain't got influence when it comes to us. And I think us is obviously SB19 is the direction of their music. It is the fact that they stay authentic to, they produce their music, they write their music. It is so them, it is so impactful that no critic is they're not gonna be bothered by it. I think the authority is not necessarily to be able to control the success of them, but it's the authority to control the output that SB19 gives to us as their fans. And I love the last line, which is, living lawless is my priority. Ooh! Because lawless is always chaotic. Like, it feels chaos, right? Like, you think of a criminal. Like, you might even have to be a criminal, but like, you're accused of something, you're on the run, you're being chased by the authority. Like, it's chaotic, it's unstable, it's things you necessarily would not want to desire. But they're choosing it. Not only are they choosing that lifestyle, they're like prioritizing it. Like, they're it's like their, what's the word, like their jurisdiction of living an authentic, successful life as artist is by not is by being in that state of chaos. And I love that. I love that. Okay, so the pre-chorus is my man, my boo, my darling, my sweetheart, Justin. He says, "Let it do damage, we low-key savage. Oh, let him sing it loud, tragic, now paint the whole town." Okay, so let it do damage. Are we talking about the music? Because I'm thinking damage often has negative connotations, right? Of getting hurt, of pain. But if you think about it from a gaming perspective, you can also give damage neutrally, right? Like harming other people. So maybe they're saying, let's put out music that, damages our reputation. Maybe let's put out music that breaks the box that people find us in. Like, I don't think the damage has to necessarily be directed at SB19. Like, it could also be their music doing damage for the expectations, the stereotypes that people have. And each of the damage that their songs do, it slowly diminishes and fades away these stereotypes that are carried from Filipino artists or from SB19 specifically. Now, we low-key savage. So, savage, historically, I don't know how it's perceived in I don't really know how it's perceived in the US nor in the Philippines because I'm not from either place, but from like a colonial standpoint and historical standpoint, savages are almost not human. Like it was one of the, and I don't agree with that, but one of the justifications that colonists from Europe had was that, oh, we're able to occupy and colonize places like the US, Australia, everywhere, presumably even the Philippines, because they're savages. They do not have rules and structures. In Australia, for example, one of the examples for why they were savages and thus not humans was they did not have domestication. They did not have a city. They did not have a house. Like, they did not have laws that structured them. Thus, they were savages. They were not human. Them saying that is like very anti-colonial, it kind of shifts the narrative the same way that they do with the outlaw, but the lens and the perspective is very different, right? Because I think they're reclaiming or claiming the word savage in a really good way, right? And it ties back to the lawless aspect and being an outlaw, right? Like they are not a part of the main society, the main land. They are outside of that spectrum. Oh, let them sing it loud. Who is them? The fans? Are we talking about the fans? Are we like shifting the narrative here? Or are we, still talking about the haters? I'm not too sure. Tragic, now paint the whole town. Which is interesting, right? Because we've just established this narrative that we're outside of the town. A savage is not necessarily connected with the town, which is a civilized, if you want to use that word to sort of describe. It's unsavage. They're saying, well, let's make an impact of that whole town. Like, let's paint. And paint is impact. It's change. It's improvement, right? Think of a black and white town and you put colors, right? You enhance it, you improve it. Which is so interesting because they're essentially saying, we're outside of this lawless land, but we want to make an impact for the people and for the society that's inside of that lawless land with our music, with the things that we're doing. And tragic, I think, is like the more slang term of like actually happy, not sad. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, tragic. Like, it's a good thing that it's happening, right? Because on the surface, society is changing, which can be, from one lens, be problematic and be hurtful and painful. But what they're saying is it's actually a good thing. We are making these positive impacts on the industry that is actually going to be better for artists who are going to come after us. We're going to pave the way. We're going to open doors, keep them open, and get other artists involved in this. That's kind of how I'm interpreting this pre-chorus. Okay, so the chorus is, the road is rough, the road is tough. Better watch your back in the land of the lawless. Can't get enough, but don't get stuck, 'cause there ain't no love in the land of the lawless. Okay, I mean, I like it. I wish I could repeat the beat. This was clearly not the beat, but I think the road is rough and the road is tough is it's an acknowledgement of the pain that they're going through, and we've seen that in other songs. Gento, I think, is a great example of like the same struggle that you're going to see success. Better watch your back in the land of the lawless, right? Like you can never be comfortable. You can never relax. You can never trust people fully because there are backstabbers. And I want to talk more about that, but let me read the other two lines and give more context. But can't get enough, but don't get stuck because there ain't no love in the land of the law. There's something that I have been thinking a lot about over the last year or so, especially with the release of The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift, which one of the takeaways for me is that what happens to a lot of artists who become successful is that they get comfortable, right? When you're a struggling artist, you see exactly how the music industry is. It's rough, it's tough. They will throw you to the crocodiles the moment you do not give profit. The moment there's something wrong with you or the market change or anything, the moment you're not profitable, you're out to the crocodiles. You are discarded. You are left in the dust. Okay? People who become successful, you get stuck there because you're like, oh my God, I'm successful. I've made it. I can finally relax. I can stop watching my back because now people are friends with me. You know, people are listening to me. There is, I forget who it is. I think it was Sabrina Carpenter in her newest song, newest album, Man's Best Friend. She talks about something. People that used to never want to talk with me and acknowledge me, suddenly I'm the first person they say hi to in the room. And she acknowledges that, right? That that's not a good thing. And I think they're saying the same thing, right? Like when you are in the music industry and you get success, you can't grow comfortable. You can't grow complacent. You can't trust people out there. You have to keep moving forward. You can't get stuck, right? Because if you get stuck in that comfort and that success, you're not going to move forward and you're going to be discarded. So I think what SB19 is saying, we can't get enough success, and we're having success right now, but we need to keep moving. We need to be wary and suspicious of people around us. And I'm assuming if they're, you know, trying to become more present in the US market, like with Lollapalooza, and I read something along the lines of them having a more global record label for distributions, like they still need to be wary that they like that suspicion, I think, is like what they're hyping in on. And I love that because there ain't no love in the land of the lawless, right? Like there is no kindness. Like, ooh, I promise to always, you know, trust you. Like record labels do not care. The moment you become unprofitable, they throw you out to the fish. And is it bad? Yes and no. Like I think there are obviously arguments on both sides. Like at the end of the day, the music industry is a business. If you have someone in your business who is causing you more money than what you can earn, then obviously you don't necessarily want to keep them. But then there's all the other nuances of, well, could they do better if there's so many things happening and the industry is rough and it's tough. And they're saying keep your head careful, girl, because it's dangerous. So I forgot to translate this. So I translated it, but I didn't want to put it back in. But the first verse is swindlers, fools, you thought we were playing around, joking around always, but the tongue is a whip. Even before I go into the lyrics, I love that there's a little bit of Tagalog in this song. I think it's something I see a lot of people criticize when artists who are not from like a predominantly English speaking country, when they just switch to completely in English, like you do lose a little bit of that authenticity. What I've loved about SB19 is that they do have fully English songs that are bops. But in the context of this song, if there had not been Tagalog in this song, I think it would have lost a little bit of its charm and its sense, right? Because they're up until this point they've talked about, well, we are not confined to a box. We're not going to speak fully in English so you can understand what the hell we're saying. Like you need to put in the work to translate what we're saying because I'm not going to adhere to your guidelines. Remember, We're outlaws. We're lawless. So I like that that comes in. Now, swindlers, fools, you thought we were playing around, joking around always, but the tongue is a whip. I can't make sense of it. It's so, people assumed that they were just having a little bit of fun, right? That they were kind of useless people. They're like, okay, yeah, these people, sure, sure, but they're not. Because, and I like the joking around always, but the tongue is a whip, because how I'm interpreting it, right? Joking around always, you're still using your tongue. You're laughing, right? Like your tongue is this innocent thing that's used as a tool to laugh, but on the contrast, it can also be a whip, this sharp, this intense movement of hurt and pain. Like it has, and tongue is also language, right? And I don't know if it's really translated to tongue, but tongue is also language. So it also might be that, oh, in Tagalog, you think we're just joking around, we're just saying funny things, but when I need to, I can go hard, I can go sharp. And we see that when they rap in Tagalog, but they can also be extreme wakas. They can be extremely emotional and intense in their language when they need to. And I think that's what it is that they're doing here. And then Josh says, tell me what you're gonna do when it comes for you. Tell me what you got in your head now. Are we kind of saying, you know, imagine being a bully in high school and you're like, you're never gonna make it. You suck. You're ugly. You're never gonna be successful. I'm never gonna see you. And then 10 years later, you're front and center at a festival and that person that you were bullying is standing on the stage. What are you gonna do then? Like, they're kind of saying, oh, you doubted us. You said we were never gonna make it. And now you're at a festival at Lollapalooza and we're there on the main stage performing. What happened? What are you gonna do then? You're gonna admit your mistake? No, you're gonna pretend it never happened. You're gonna pretend you're a fan of us. But we know in your head there's a little bit of guilt, right? There's a little bit of it's not guilt, right? It's, ooh, how can, and I'll give an honest example. Before Chapel Roan blew up, my ex at the time showed me her music and I listened to it and I didn't necessarily like it. Nothing about her. I just listened to the songs once and I was like, I don't really like it. And then she blew up. She blew up. And now every time that I see Chapel Roan and the success she's been able to emulate, which I'm so happy about, I love queer people being successful. But I'm reminded in my head, I'm like, damn, I used to doubt her. I'm honest with it. So I think that's what Josh is kind of saying here. Now Pablo is saying, oh, somebody call the police. We taking everything tonight. Oh, now you see the future, breaking all the rules. Yeah, we run the tempo. What are we meaning here? Somebody call the police. Are we taking everything tonight? I mean, it's funny that they're saying tonight, right? Because tonight is Lollapalooza. But police has a really intense connotation in the US. I don't think that's necessarily what they're talking about, right? If we bring in the outlaw context, right? Like they're saying, ooh, we're doing not what you want us to do. You better call the authorities because we're doing something right. But even by calling the authorities, you can't arrest us because we're already doing everything, right? Oh, now you see the future of them being successful, the future of them being at Lollapalooza. Like, we know it. They have not performed at Lollapalooza tonight, but I know in the future they will. So you can do anything to try to stop them. You can try to call whoever you want, the police, the authority. Nothing's gonna change the outcome, which is the success. Breaking all the rules, yeah, we run the tempo. I love that tempo gets broken down, right? Like, because it's not tempo, it's tempo. I like it. Breaking all the rules, I mean, we're lawless. So we're technically not breaking any rules. So Justin says, where's Ken in this whole song? Has Ken even had anything? Okay, he's had like some things here and there, but he doesn't have that much. But Justin says, yeah, I'm always on the run. We established that earlier in the song, right? We're in run from the box, from the framework, from the authorities that's trying to constrain us to a certain set of perimeters. All these shadows calling out my name. Can't nobody hold me down. I was born to break the chains. Ooh, I love that. All these shadows calling out my name. I mean, two things here. Shadows is darkness, right? So the critics, the music industry, the haters, these things that are trying to force darkness and hate and unsuccess to you. calling out their names, right? What I like about it is that your shadow will always follow you. You can never let it go away unless you actually go into the darkness, which is, they don't want to do that because that, leads to unsuccess and depression and sadness. But the shadow never catches up, right? The use of a shadow means that you're always going to be this echo, this thing in the back that we see, we acknowledge, but we don't do anything, right? You can't hold us down. I was born to break the chains. So they are actually saying that we weren't always lawless. We weren't always outlaws. We were once confined and changed to the box, to the framework, to the music industry and how it exists. But we knew back then, when we didn't have the power and the influence, or maybe even the confidence or faith to break free of the chains, they knew that eventually they would. And I think this is so fitting with narratively, like where SB19 is finding themselves. With Wakas at Simuli, like they really setting up that although this is the end of an era, this is the beginning of something new, of something fruitful, of something impactful, of something generational and historical and monumental. And that this bridge is like setting that up again, right? I'm done, now I'm letting go. This gun, gonna let you know. Deadlock, it's the last straw. Watch me ride and lost control. Now you lost me a little bit. So maybe this bridge, like the I'm done, now I'm letting go. Like maybe we're at the climax of them deciding to become lawless, to become outlaws. So we're going a little bit in the past, right? Where we're saying this is the moment. This is the climax of our decision to finally become lawless, to finally let go of the constraints and the stereotypes and the restrictions that are put on us. The gun gonna let you know. Deadlock, it's the last straw. Like I'm envisioning, those Western movies when two people are walking back to back, they're walking ahead and then they turn around and boom. That's kind of what I'm envisioning, right? Like it's the last straw. It's like the final stage. It's their decision. Are they going to be the one getting shot, or are they going to be the one who shoots? And from the song, right, they end up winning because most likely they're not going to play by the rules. So they're going to make sure that even though they might not shoot first, they are not getting shot and they will shoot at you. So I like that. Watch me ride and lost control. Lost control is past tense. Why is it past tense? I mean, the last draw, maybe that's Lollapalooza. Like, maybe this is the moment. Like, the moment they're just letting go, giving everything themselves. And I guess you also lose control when you're an outlaw. Right? You kind of, like, have to. You don't really have a choice. So I spent 42 minutes analyzing that song. That's kind of crazy. But that's kind of what SB19 gets me to do. Now, I want to be able to pause this because there was so much happening in this song. So you already got me to react to it once without pausing too much. So you got that already. Lawless. This better be the beginning song at their Lollapalooza set. Like, it has to be. And I love that there's this country beat, like this country influence, but the way that they're singing is so grudgy and ugh. And Pablo, I mean, I said this so many times, I don't want to necessarily repeat myself in all my videos, but his emotional delivery is just so raw and fresh. Ken kind of has the same, but I just like love the way that they're able to emulate and create these emotions with their lyrics. Watch your mouth. Keep your doubts, I'm lawless, better be couched. There's no boxes, getting hold the gods, no, start a mosh pit. And I love that the lyrics here is not following a traditional structure of a song. Like they almost, like Pablo uses his I don't know what the English word is, but like the speed at which he's singing, he actually cuts off one word before and goes to the next one. So he's going out of the box on how you're expected to even perform a verse. Like, listen. Like, no boxes he pauses can hold. Like the pauses that he makes are so deliberate. It's so fucking good. Mosh pit.
Talking out of pocket, get your car quick. Yeah, hey, you ain't got no authority. Living lawless is my priority. Do the damage. We low-key savage. Ooh,
Let them do the damage. We low-key savage. Why is he torturing me? And I love that damage is stretched out, right? That means the damage is more impactful. It's hitting us more. And the vocals. And living lawless is my priority. And they're skipping some letters like priority. Like they're kind of making it up in a very intentional way. Oh, and the...
The road is tough. Better watch your back in the land of
the lawless.
Can get enough, but don't get stuck. 'Cause ain't no love in the land of the lawless.
Controversial topic. I kind of wish they said, because there ain't no love in this motherfucking... You know, like, I need some...
Get enough, but don't get stuck. 'Cause ain't no love in the land of the lawless. Lawless. Lawless.
No
love in the land of the lawless.
And I've already said this, but that guitar string, dum, 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 it's so iconic.
Mga bano, kala mo naglalaro, palabiro, palagi no, pero di lalatigo. Tell me what you gonna do when it comes for ya. Tell me what ya.
I kind of wish that when Pablo was singing the Tagalog sound, because we know he's talking about the tongue at the end, that he kind of like, you know, used the tongue. But maybe we'll see that at Lollapalooza. Like, you know what I mean? And he does latigo. Like, it's a mouthful, right? Like latigo. Like he does it already, right? Like the mouth movement of the word latigo has 3 different very intense movements, right? Latigo. Which means, right, he's able to change his attitude. He's able to be happy, be joyful. But don't mistake that, because in a moment, I can get sharp. I can get, you know, I can give you a little if you need to. Oh, Pablo. Oh, my man.
Tell me what you gonna do when it comes for ya. Tell me what ya. Get in your head now. Ooh, somebody go to police. Ooh, we taking everything tonight. Ooh, now you see the future. Breaking all the rules, yeah, we run the tempo.
Tempo. Oh, who's this?
Keep on singing now. Tragic, we'll break the whole town. The road is rough.
Oh, whoever sang that was it sounded so good.
We low-key savage. Oh, keep on singing now. Tragic.
Oh, it's Stell. It has to be Stell.
We'll break the whole town. The road is rough. The road is tough. Better watch your back in the land of the lawless. Can't get enough, but don't get stuck. 'Cause there ain't no love in the land of the
lawless.
Lawless.
Like, this is a hip song. Like, you know, hip.
Lawless. No love in the land of the lawless. Yeah, I'm always on the run.
That yeah is in so many of their songs, and it's so iconic, and I love that it's here too. Like,
yeah, I'm always on the run.
Run! And then he does a run, musically, vocally, right? Run, like that's a run, right? I'm not the most educated music person.
I'm always on the run. All these shadows calling out my name. Can nobody hold me down? I was born to break the chain.
And I love that nobody is able to hold me down, and then he's just going straight into the next line, because you can't hold me down. I'm not even gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep going.
I was born to break the chain. I'm done, now I'm letting go. This gone, let you
And I love that the gun, like they are able to change the gun to an action so fast, right? Like you don't even have time to think because they're gonna take that consequence or that reality and just do it before you can even think about it. Like you're not thinking gun. It's gun gone. Like it's so clever.
This gon' let you know. Then look, it's the last straw. Watch me run and lose control.
Was that Stell? Like Stell always does so well with these, but oh my god. I can't scream because guys, look what happens when I scream. It cuts out the song, but that's I was screaming, okay? It's a motherfucker lawless.
The road's tough. Better watch your back in the land of the lawless. Can't get enough, but don't get stuck. 'Cause there ain't no love in the land of the lawless. 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 No love in the land of the lawless.
Ow, that was perfect. But what did we expect? Because it's SB19 and I don't know when they failed producing a great song. And I'm so excited for them. What did you guys think of the song? Because it was incredible. It was incredible. And this, it's just it was my birthday a few days ago and I was speaking to my friend about how there hasn't really been a lot of good music released this year. And Waka Said Simulai, fucking great album. I mean, obviously it's a lot of songs that we already knew, but the new songs, I reacted to those. They're all iconic in their own ways. They all show different kind of styles and talents that these guys are able to bring forward. But oh, this is great. I love it. Am I supposed to have any critiques for it? I don't have any. I can't think about it. And I don't want to force myself to critique people because I love the music. I love the lyrics. I love the intentionality. I kind of want to see it live. I kind of want to see it live. I kind of want to see it live. Thank you so much for watching me react to SB19's newest song, Lawless. What did you think about it? Hopefully my analysis of the song was acceptable to you. If not, that's totally fine. Totally fine. Totally acceptable. Won't judge you as long as you don't judge me. If you judge me, I'll judge you back, okay? But, you know, I wish the boys, the men, excuse me, the best of luck at Lollapalooza. I'm so excited for them. I'm so proud of them. So proud of them. And I'm so excited to see what's in the future for them. But until then, I'll see you. Bye.